Alrighty, looks like we are live. So waiting on somebody to show up here. About 20 seconds in. Boom, first like, but no viewers. Hey Jackson, good to see you. Hey Graham, good to see you here. I'm glad I've got some people already on this live stream. Cool. Awesome, awesome. Hey Herb. Hey Brian Neely. Hello, Not Only Wood. Good to have you all here. You like the Power Hammer so far? Yeah, it's coming along really good. I've got some exciting stuff on Monday to show, so on my next update video. Hey Peter L, good to see you. Charles James, good to have you here. Hello from Siberia. Nice to know, Stefan. Hello, Julio. Good evening, Peter Grossel. Yes, Gemstone, I was at Quad State. Serbia, not Siberia. Oh, sorry about that. I hope I said that right again. You got your hoodie and t-shirt on. Awesome. I am glad. Hey, Ben Tunes, good to see ya. John Coffey, I have never used 5599 steel. Don't even know what that would be. I did now. Good. Good. Serbia. I like hearing from guys all the way across the globe there. I know Graham's from Australia. What do I make now? Well, right now I'm not making anything for this live stream. In fact, it's just going to be kind of a bit of an update live stream, just catching up with everybody for the evening and letting you all know of some of the upcoming stuff that I'm getting pretty excited about. So, last live stream before that we did, which was a Thursday night live stream, which was out of order of the way we usually do live streams. We do live streams every Friday at 8 p.m. if I can, and I try to take... Yeah, you are a video. Good. Forgot where I was at. You guys are asking questions. Sorry. One-track mind, you know, I'm a compartmentalized person. But anyways, yeah, so the last live stream I had found out, comically enough, that this camera on the phone can switch around during the live stream. So we weren't able to set it up tonight, but next Friday night's live stream is going to be a tong forging demonstration. So I hope to get that out, amongst a lot of really cool videos. I hope to have the Power Hammer build done by then, but here's hoping. Hey, Sean. Hey, Martin. Good to see you. God bless you. Glad to have you here. There. Uncle Buck's Forge. Just a little north of me. Awesome. Yes, I have used one of the Tire Hammer Power Hammers from Clay Spencer and Ray Clonce's original designs. And they are pretty awesome hammers. I like them better than Little Giants. What kind of tongs? I don't know, that'd be a good one. What type would you all like to see? I'd like to keep it to about an hour, hour and a half making them. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably draw out the reins and stuff first, and I'll work on just the nibs or just the hinge portion and things just to save time. So notice my gas forged several times. Must ask, did it explode? No, it didn't explode. I just stacked fire bricks in the opening. I hope that's the forge that you're talking about. Wolf jaw tongs, bolt tongs, okay. Hammer forging tongs, okay. Hey, thank you for taking and stopping there, Fat Boo? Did I get the nail header? Not yet. I haven't checked the P.O. box. I'll have to go check that. Just double make sure. What types of tongs don't you have? I'll have to look through my collection over there. I got most of the ones that I use, probably along with the larger varieties, kind of like hammer eye tongs and things like that. Punch and drift holding tongs, yep, could be doing all those, so. It should be going to my house. Okay, I'll have to check. Yeah, we haven't received it yet there. Yeah, bolt tongs. Yeah, I mean, we could do bolt tongs. There was a gentleman that I took a class with, Tom Latney, out at Touchstone. He had reminded me of bolt tongs that, gosh, a guy by the name of Steve Ash showed us. They were pretty simple and quick, so I might try to do those. Yeah, Jackson, shipping can be expensive if you choose the wrong kind, so. You've been plasma burning quick tongs. Yeah, I've seen those. Gosh, who does those a lot? I'm trying to think. I think is it GS Tongs? Or I'm not sure who it is that does those. It's slipping my mind. That's bad. I'm not old enough yet for things to be slipping my mind. Yeah, I've used some plasma cammed out tongs, lasered tongs, stuff that's been, the blanks were pre-lasered out. They do pretty good as long as you get the reins right. Yeah, Ken's Custom Ironworks. That's good, Corey. Y'all, perfect. That's exactly who I was thinking about. Yep, there was a bunch at Quad State. They make adjustable tongs, huh? Cool. Yeah, railroad spike tongs. Those are always a possibility. Oh, cool. How'd that work out, Jackson? Any suggestions for projects using railroad spikes? One thing that's fairly well, I mean, you can Google a lot of images. I know people do a lot of welded art and things. I know guys who will punch 2 holes in them and bend just the head into like a hook, so this way people can put you know, coats and things of that nature on them. That's a neat way of using them up. Everything from meat skewers to you name it. I personally don't like railroad spikes myself. I think that there's a lot to overcome with the head of them and stuff, and they're just kind of a pain for me, but they're good for definitely some things. I've seen guys make trivets out of them. That's another good product. H.E. Peterson, good to have you here. Yep, Ken's Custom Iron. John Coffey. Yep, that's correct. They make those plasmaed out tongs. Yep, split crosses from railroad spikes. Yeah, you can just cut the head off too. That's the way to do it. If you burn the handle a little bit, no big deal, Jackson. Important point is hopefully you had a learning curve while you were doing it, so you know what to do next time. A little better and a little better. Yep, you make tomahawks, knives, bottle openers, yep, all sorts of stuff out of railroad spikes. There's a whole cottage industry out there just for railroad spike making. All you gotta do is go to Instagram and check it out. Or just do a Google search on railroad spike something or another, forged railroad spike. A lot of knives will pop up. and then tomahawks, and then other related projects. So before I get into it too far, I'm just going to let everybody know I'm planning on doing about an hour-long live stream tonight for, that way people can still get to bed on time. I've got to get to bed on time because I have a wedding I'm going to tomorrow early afternoon. A cousin of mine's getting married, so I was invited, and so my little family's got to get up early to go to that. Well, we got to start early with 3 kids. They don't like to move very fast, so... Yeah. How did I start blacksmithing? I actually got several videos on that, but long story short, my wife found me a forge at a garage sale, and that started the addiction. Nope, you're not too late for the Honor Forge. Good to have you here. Is why I built the knot. Mario? Huh. A Rubik's twist. Yeah, I like that type of twist. Nope, John Coffee, I won't be at the meeting tomorrow. I'm going to be going to my cousin's wedding, so I won't be able to go to the meeting, unfortunately. You need some ideals for demos. You have one tomorrow. I would keep it simple. Do leaves, do hooks, do leaf hooks, fire pokers, things that don't require a lot of attention span. That way you can... the wedding. No, that's not why I built the knot. But that's a good thing. I think I said in that video you can use those quite effectively and market them to the wedding crowd with the I tied the knot thing. So yeah, don't focus on projects so much, because general populace on demonstrations will not. Excuse me. General populace on demonstrations usually don't get into as much of the process as you guys do, or as I would, and enjoy that so much. They just kind of like to see a cool thing get made so they can walk on to the next event, or so on and so forth. So do something that you're pretty comfortable with, and let your personality shine more than necessarily what you're working on. Knives are always a big hit for anybody with like boys and things of that nature, even certain girls and stuff, like Girl Scouts, things of that nature. They can be popular there as well, although I find making like little small, maybe Russian roses or flowers or something that you can beat at the anvil with not a lot of tooling does pretty good. Yeah, Peyton Macaulay, there will be a replay of this. You can watch this on the replay. And I'm sorry you have to head out, but good to have you here. Thanks for stopping in anyhow. Oh, your previous comment was for Corey. Okay, cool. Good luck, Uncle Buck, at the auction tomorrow. Hope you get a lot of stuff if you want it. That's funny. Sorry, guys, I'm a little behind on comments here. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the Power Hammer, if that's okay. So the Power Hammer is really progressing really well, and I'm getting pretty excited about it. The actual hammer head itself is turning into being right around 32 to about 34 pounds. I'm not sure yet until I get all the linkages hooked up to it, and I actually got a dead sitting weight of what that's going to be. But right now, the head, when it wasn't all put together on the beam, was 32 pounds. And so that was, so it's going to be a big, heavy hitting hammer. I am planning on using a 3-horse electric motor from Harbor Freight, mainly because the 3-horse electric motor at Harbor Freight has an 1800 RPMs, and that's going to work out with the pulleys that I'm putting with it, so I can slow it down. And the 3-horse is robust enough to take the running. It'll still run off of 110 current here in the US, or you can plug it into 220. I'll probably wire it up for 220 just because I like that idea a little better. It's a lot more robust that way. No idea where it's going to go in the shop. So actually most of my power hammer designs and inventions, you know, right now they're sitting in a little storage shed that I got. So I got to figure out something to do with those, like, you know, I don't start a museum, I guess, at some point. Might even give it away, who knows. Good morning, Shadowcaster. Good to have everybody here. It's good to see you here, Martin. Yeah, that would be a that would be a good video ideal. Cool. Hello, Jeffrey Longo. Yeah, so I was able to get thanks Jackson. I'm glad you like my Instagram. Trying to keep up on comments and talk all at the same time. So yeah, I got a lot of work done today. One of the things I wanted to answer, kind of a question, people asked me how I was going to overcome the fact that a beam hammer comes down and hits like a scissor. So whenever there's something that it comes before it's fully flat, it hits it on a tangent or a diagonal. Well, I fixed that in the design with something that I call the Traveler, and essentially it is a linkage that's back here that allows the beam to tilt and level up. So it will allow the beam to take and hit exactly square, no matter how tall the tooling is that you put underneath it, so you can adjust both the back hinge point of the beam and the actual the actual hammer stroke itself, the distance between that. So you'll have a lot of adjustability with that for tooling, and that's why that's what I've designed this hammer to do. So yeah, forging press can be quieter, and they can also be a lot louder too. They can get really noisy if the pump you've got's not either in an insulated box or it's real noisy. Or if it's running low on oil, or there's a whole lot of things that can cause pump noise. But when will you be seeing the finish? I'm hoping to have the finished product out by next Friday's live stream. So I'm really hoping for that. But I'll have to see. I've kind of got quite a bit. I've got quite a bit of, how do I want to say? I have quite a bit of work still to come over on it, and I got customers and clients' jobs that I have to work on all at the same time. So I've kind of underestimated the amount of time that it was going to take to actually do that, and so it's coming along slowly. So Jackson, they won't. So to answer your question, they don't. They frown. There's certain guidelines and things about telling how much money you make on YouTube. So some people are very aloof about that. I just rather not answer because I don't know what their laws are on that. I have heard some cases where people's channels have been completely shut down just because they mention numbers. So I won't be answering that on the live stream. But you guys know me more than anything. I'm more than open and more than sharing. So I try to share as much as I can. Try to share as much as I can do on all sorts of business and finance and things like that. But then there's just certain stuff I'm not willing to risk, and that would be one of them. I can tell you this though, it's not even close. It's not as glamorous as some people say. It takes a lot of work, and really where I probably make most of my income from YouTube that helps support the videos and stuff is from Power Hammer plans and things like that sell on a regular basis. So, oh, not a problem, Jackson. It's a good, honest question. People want to know, so. Good to see you, Mickey Swift. Hello, Digger Blades. I'm glad you're learning a lot there, Robert Cruz. Oh. Plate copper. Somebody asked me a question. Graham, I'm sorry if I missed your question there, pal. Or whoever. H.E. Pearson. Where do you source copper? My local scrapyard. If that wasn't answered by somebody else, I do that, so. Good night, Herb Page. Keep an eye out for the update videos. I'll keep you guys posted. Ben Toombs, I wish. I wish so. That would be so great, wouldn't it? I'd be the most giving, generous Smith on YouTube, I guarantee you. Where did you get your anvil? I got my anvil from down in Georgia. I bought it on eBay. Oh, man. I've got some friends that actually live up in Canada that's been my friends for a long time. Their name's Mike and Megan. I'm not sure what their last names was. Well, they got different last names, just boyfriend, girlfriend. But, yeah, and that was my thing. I'm like, don't you all run around all the time saying, "eh"? Oh, that's just what Americans think, I guess. So, polar bear riding people with maple syrup saying "eh." Yep. That's funny. Yeah, some scrap yards won't let you scrimp around. First Street Recycling in Dayton will, though. They actually have a steel sales department. Donald Roberts, good that you have commented tonight, sir. Thank you so much for getting on the live stream. You're a disabled veteran, and is it possible for you to forge while sitting down? Yes, it is. It's completely possible. There's people who do it all the time in different countries, everything from squatting to sitting positions, things of that nature. You have to adapt your tooling somewhat to your particular situation, so it would be your height and things of that nature. So necessarily, instead of you sitting below the anvil, you'd want the anvil to pretty much be sitting down closer to your lap. And then also, a standard or a traditional hammer, like a cross peen hammer or a rounding hammer or any of the straight peens or other type of hammers, may not work as well for you. What will probably work better is what they call the dog face hammer, or I forget, is a lot of, they call that a Japanese bladesmithing hammer as well. Yeah, Japanese style smithing. Yep, Corey Goff, good. So, and thank you, sir, by the way, for your service. Somebody else had already beat me to it, but thank you very much. My dad's a vet, so I really appreciate you. I'm sorry I'm sorry I totally blew off the comment that you had made and left, and I'm horrible about getting back to people. In fact, actually, we just looked at our stats. Last month, in the month of September, believe it or not, during that month, we had a total of 8,689 comments. So, if anybody wants to know why you maybe not get complete answers all the time, that's why. There's a lot of comments that come in like you wouldn't believe. I'm not sure, Robert Cruz, of the type of spring steel. If it's a spring steel, I'm imagining it would make good punches and drifts, depending. Yeah, refer back to the video on tempering and things like that. That would be a great way of doing that. without looking it up. You could always Google the specs on it, what it should be hardened and tempered at, things like that. So yeah, I try not to blow everyone off or shoo shoo, that type of whatever. Yep, Ben Timms, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. Why, thank you, RBF Calf. Hey, so yeah, we just reached another milestone on the channel, actually. So we have put out, since the first of the year, over 300 videos on the subject of blacksmithing now. Actually, the revised design is the first design, Brad Turnbow, and then the revised design I actually had given to my brother. So he's got a little small metalworking shop that he wanted to play around with. So, yep, road to 9,000 subs. We'll be there before long. So, and I plan on doing a 10,000 subscriber giveaway. So that's going to be what I believe to be a hammer. I'm going to give away a hammer that I'm on the working in the process of making, and it's going to be a pretty one. You are welcome, RB Calf. I'm glad to be here. I really am. I'm glad you guys are awesome, awesome, awesome to be associated with on YouTube. I can't ask for a better community of Smiths that come around here. I was kind of afraid YouTube was going to turn out like Facebook. But as long as I don't put up controversial videos like rounding hammers and things like that, it doesn't turn into Facebook. So, you know, you guys are great, and I love having every last one of you on the channel, and me and Jess are really appreciative of that. We really are. So, Mickey Swift, yes, a Harbor Freight anvil would be perfectly fine to start out with. I know some people would disagree with that, but that's what I started off with. I didn't have any other choice at that point with my cash flow, and I spent, you know, at that time I got on 20% off. They actually were not that expensive. I want to say they were like $50, and I got it for 20% off, and I mean, I couldn't beat it at that price. I'm not sure what they're up to now. It may not be worth it, but you know, it will get you by in a pinch. If you got a good scrap yard, near you, that would be perfect. So, Janster, Nevada, good night. Sleep well, too. Appreciate you. Yeah, if you got a good scrapyard, big chunk of steel will work out, too. Yeah. What's wrong with rounding hammers? So, For the Honor Forge asked, there's absolutely nothing wrong with rounding hammers. I just don't like seeing guys, especially new guys to the trade, thinking that there's only one way to do something because it's popular. You know, you gotta get it out of your head that this craft is not, you know, 12,000 years old plus. So, you know, that's my main opinion on any tool whatsoever. You know, do not limit yourself by your tooling. Do not limit yourself by, well, this is the way it just ought to be, because there are so many smiths out there, so many master smiths, all with a different kind of opinion about how to do it. And if you talk to all the old cougars out there that have been around as long as the craft is, especially in this area, I've gotten to talk to quite a few guys that actually were founders of SOFA and things of that nature. And, you know, they all have a different approach, and they're all cool with it, you know. So some will talk crap about each other. Well, that one's not quite, you know, that one's not quite. So thank you, Brad. Yeah, it was a real thing. But that's my main purpose. And anytime I say anything about tooling, it's not to put down somebody's tools that they have or their belief system or their opinions at all of what works best for them. It's just, you know, it just says, just think outside the box. You know, maybe there's another way out there other than the popular thing. Because if we go with the popular thing, then we would all believe what, you know, Forged in Fire shows us every day because it's popular. And anvil-shaped objects. Yep. Man, I love to see you guys chatting it up in the chat. So I'm just going to kind of look back up here. Oh, Brad, by the way, I checked out your build. It came out pretty great. I like that. I'm actually going to make a playlist of everybody who's built my hammers in the past. Even a few of the guys who built them and didn't give credit where credit was due. I'm going to add them to the playlist as well. Yep, use what's best for you. Hard facing can get pretty expensive, but I mean, hard facing rod goes a long way too. Yep, anything to start. Anything you can get started. Now, I do believe on tooling, guys, you're very welcome. You know, it's what supports the channel as well, so. Awesome, Graham. Jessica will be glad to hear that you're using her advice to upgrade the Etsy shop. And I hope everybody who's doing those, that she did the reviews on, everybody found those valuable. She really worked her tail off on those to try to get, you know, be as nice and congeal. And you know Jess, she's a sweetheart, so. Yeah, of course. It always does. I always like seeing guys' different takes on it. But it's like you said in your video, some got it right, some didn't, and so. Okay, let me try to take and read back on some of the comments here, everybody. Let's see here. I'll just put earmuffs on. Yep. Let's see here. Okay, cool. Right, Neely, let's hear. I might have to try that because I'm just getting started. I'm getting my tools first. Okay, everybody's talking in here. Everybody will just have to put hashtag Roy if you want to try to get my attention because you guys are having conversations in the feed, which is great. I love that. I'm so happy to have guys taking and chatting it up. We're a community here. So, do it up. Hey, good night, Steven. Yep, you can. We can definitely agree on that, Martin. You get what you paid for when it comes to tooling sometimes. Press build. So I had a failed attempt that I have not gotten back to because I was promised, because I promised out to do this power hammer and some guys have been waiting a really long time for it. So I'm still working on the press build. I take that as a compliment, Jackson. We're definitely two different channels, me and Alex Steele. Alex Steele is more of entertainment. And I am educational, so I'm not that funny or witty. I just like teaching guys what I know, so. Okay, let's see here. Yep, depends on the tooling too. Yeah, the press build, I would like to do that. One thing guys have got to know about... well, here, I'll answer this. Peter L., no, I have not 3 hashtags and a smiley face. That's funny. No, I haven't made any videos about rivets yet or riveting tools and rivets, but that's a good video ideal. Thank you. I'll have to make note of that. I'm sure Jessica's making note of that now, so I appreciate it. I will do, Brad. I will keep at it. Yeah, Jackson, I'm definitely more on the educational side, and Alec is definitely more on the entertainment side. So, some guys learn a lot from Alex Steele, He moves too quick with the camera for myself. I need a lot more dumbed down attention span for me. Don Whalen, that's awesome. I hope it goes well for you at your first market. Julio, there's a channel you may want to check out. It's called Paul's Garage. You may want to check him out. He's kind of going through the whole thing of casting and stuff, and you know, I've found him to be pretty funny and entertaining while you're actually learning something. So it's pretty good. So, baby just crawled into your office. That can either be a good or bad problem to have. If it's your own kid, it's a good problem. Cool. Let's see here. You want to rework your rail anvil and make kind of a horn. Invest in a lot of flap discs from Harbor Freight. If you have a Harbor Freight in your area, that would be the best there. Cut off wheels, cut it mostly to shape, and then grind the rest of the way with flap discs. Yeah, a round piece would work too, Martin. That's a great way. I didn't even think about that. That's a good way of doing it. So, good night, Mickey Swift. God bless you. Thank you for being here, by the way. Thank you, thank you. Oh, yeah. At one point, everyone, we had about 45 people on here, so that was, you know, that's pretty awesome. I'd like to see more and more people show up on the live streams. You know, just. But I also enjoy the close chat with my close friends out there on YouTube. So, yeah, you got to watch that. Babies with tools and leather scrapers and stuff and papers. Yeah. Yeah, leaf springs are nice. Can we get an updated shot of the hammer build? Yep, that will be out Monday. I've got a whole update video because I kind of want to do some walking around and showing some of the various features. Yep, Graham, you're exactly right. I don't make knives. Hey, Mom. Love you, too. I'm very proud of you, too. Well, I'm not proud. Well, I guess I don't know how you say that back to a person, but I love you. So, Jaden, I didn't catch your question. When it comes to steels, I know simple carbon steels pretty well. When it comes into alloys and things, I have a reference chart that I will go to, but I don't deal with them a lot. As I'm really more into simple stuff. So, leaf springs, I've heard they're 5160. That's what I've heard. I wouldn't quote that at all because you never know. It probably depends on the manufacturer, what makeup they put in it, what they had to do in order to obtain their own patent or leasing of their own things. Like this here is a little bit off of the power hammer leaf spring here. And in general, as far as knowing the makeup and all that and what it's good for anything a spring would be good for. It's good if you need something that is a tough steel, not necessarily a hard steel, as I do not believe leaf springs are usually a really hard steel. They don't harden up to that extreme, but they are very tough. They're meant to be very, very tough. Yeah, it's a tough steel. So most people harden their springs and stuff in oil for the most part. I know I will occasionally harden certain coil spring. If it looks like older coil spring, I'll harden it in water. If I need a cold metal engaging tool, like a chasing tool of some sort. Other than that, I'll harden in oil just to be safe so I don't waste time. So Did I put to rest my mild steel hammer? No, I have not. The only thing I use it for now, though, is cutting off steel on the Hardy. So there's no real impact to it. But it's kind of getting to cruddy to the point I will probably retire it very, very soon. The wifey is not a smith there, Brad. She's done some stuff. Oh, yeah, the soft hammer burial. Yeah, I don't know if you all saw the leather mallet. Yeah, that about made me tear up. That thing's been with me for a very, very long time, so... Guy Perry, I did a whole video on my top 5 picks for beginning blacksmithing books and my favorite blacksmiths. Just go to the channel and look in the beginning or basic blacksmithing playlist or beginner blacksmith playlist, and you should be able to find it there on the channel. Yeah, I can buy a rawhide mallet from online. Just not as nice as an old one, you know, so... But hey, that's cool. Just restored that. That's awesome. Yep. Power hammer can change a lot, so... Brick Mason Supply. I'll have to look that up at a Brick Mason Supply. Make one. Make a rawhide mallet. Not good at leatherwork. It seems to me that iron's my main thing. Steel, fabricating and steel, stuff like that. I'm a really cruddy woodworker. That's part of the reason why this hammer's taken me so long. Musical. Nope, not gifted at that either. I do play a little bit of banjo, but I only know like 3 songs, and I can play them about half as slow as what they're supposed to be played, so... You've overextended yourself on skills. Yeah, I can't pick up probably any more skills. I think I'm a lifer at this thing. Carving wood, you know, I've had interest in doing all sorts of stuff. I'm just not good with wood. I mean, once it's gone, once you cut it or whittle it away, you know, you can't put it back except with wood glue, and then it's never of the same quality, so... Awesome, Guy Perry. That's cool to hear. I'm glad you were exposed to it by a Boy Scout camp. That's awesome. I've taught Boy Scouts before. I think you did, Jackson. You're a funny dude. Brian Neely, that's funny. I actually like banjo music, but my grandparents were from the South, so... I kind of grew up with it a little bit. You're still not good at keeping things square, huh? Don Whalen, eBay's probably your biggest bet on finding parts, unless you can find... sometimes like steam engine shows, things like that, tractor shows and stuff, you can find odds and ends and bits and pieces there. For leg vices, the only other thing is you could study a good vice and then just replicate its pieces and steel yourself. That would probably be the best way to do it. Or the quickest way, I should say. Not necessarily the best, so... Yep, you're right, Brian Neely. It's easy to play them bad. Really bad, actually. That's why, unfortunately, you all will probably never hear me play the banjo. Huh, that's cool, Jackson. You kind of strike me as a drummer. I'm not sure why. That's cool. So yeah, I've got a lot of big plans this month, a lot of great content coming up. One of the things that I plan on doing, if I can squeeze it in this upcoming week, I want to do a couple different hammers. One of them's a chased hammer. It has chased details on both sides of it. The other hammer that I want to do is a wrought iron with steel faces welded in, and do a explanation on that as far as video content that's coming up. And we'll just have to see how that comes along. Those both take quite a bit of time to get them dressed up and cleaned right. I've already prepped the stock for it, so definitely be checking out, looking out for those videos. And I guess I'll mention at this point in time, I think everyone here knows about the t-shirts. They're still available at Teespring, www.teespring.com/Christ Centered Ironworks. I think I got that all right. But yeah, if you go over to Teespring, I'll try to have Jessica put a link in the description as well, especially for anybody who may watch this on the replay that is new to the channel. I do offer these shirts for sale as well. So keep round hammer billets secure so you can slit. I'm going to give you the easiest piece of advice. Weld a piece of angle iron. Weld up a piece of angle iron like this to a square flat plate, made with some blocking in there and a square bit to go into the hardy hole or whatever you're using, and then that will support your round stock as you punch there. And then you may want to actually punch a hole in, or cut a hole in the bottom here so your punches can go through. Consequently, if you just want to take and forge those, if you want to forge a V-block that has that hole in it as well, you can do that, but that's quite a bit of complicated forging. Brad, that answer was to you, so. An Ohio leg vise. Columbia, I like Columbia leg vices. They're great. Just trying to see if I can find a piece of round stock laying up here. Hold on, guys. Always got something on the table. Yeah. It centers it. It holds it still. The more force you apply down on it, the more it stays in the groove. So that's the perfect way if somebody needs to put a hole through something round, is to make you a jig like that. Also, it's very handy, like say you cut a bar, or say you need to bring two round sections of stock, bring them together and weld them up and them stay round. Yeah, that's a pipe. Thanks for that, Martin. You are Captain Obvious. I love that. Oh, man, you guys ham it up on here. I enjoy it a lot. Do I find the Hardy hammer useful? Yes, I do. I actually do find it quite useful for certain items. I don't use it a lot in the shop because I already have another power hammer already, and so and space is at a premium. So right now it's in the storage shop, but I did use it to make tongs with my little tong die and tooling, and I found it very handy for that. You know, a lot of the stuff that I build, just like this beam hammer, I don't build it because I need it, so to speak. I build it so this way I can show guys how to. So, you know, how they can start. Hey, Billy Strong, good to have you here. You call them tubes. Okay, let's hear. Have you ever used a fly press? Only briefly, once. Yeah, round stock. Man, you guys are good. Anyways, like I was going to say, so a lot of the reason why I build the power hammers is because the thing that I got frustrated the most with, the things that I get frustrated the most with, is the fact that when I was trying to do this full time as a business and I felt like, man, I'm wearing myself out, I need to try to get more production out and things like that, I would love to have a power hammer. I couldn't find anybody to even do a deal with me to where they would let me make payments on a power hammer, let alone sell some punk kid a power hammer for anything less than, you know, $2 or $3 grand. So, and then that's just where the market was at on them when I got into blacksmithing as a whole. Well, that really frustrated me, and it gave me a big heart for other guys once I did finally had enough tools and I finally invested enough money into my own shop and my business to take and create power hammers in order to help people be more productive, more efficient, and not have to pay some guy, you know, $3,000 for a hammer that for a wore-out power hammer that he bought in the 70s for $50. You know, I've heard so many stories like that. So that's why I did that. Hey, Guy Perry. God bless you. Thank you for being on the channel, bud. You have a good night. Nope, never heard of Gothic Forge there, Jackson. Yeah, carpal tunnel is a perfect reason to take and build a power hammer too. As long as you have the right tools underneath it and you don't choke up on the tongs, because it'll make your carpal tunnel worse. Invest in tong clips and use the right practices at the power hammer. I'll try to shoot a video on that as well. There's enough guys building power hammers out there. I think it would be good time to teach the basics at a power hammer. That might be something. If everybody's interested in them sort of videos, I would put those out. Golden Fox, thank you for that. Yeah, Shadowcaster, yeah. Power hammer and anvil prices are absolutely nuts. You're welcome, Dan. Yeah, the Hardy hammer is a great option. It's also semi-portable. I mean, it does weigh in at about, it's like 60 pounds, 60, 65 pounds. I forget what it is now. But yeah, it's a stout hammer. It does swing a 12-pound ram. So, you know, and there's a lot of options there. I also wanted to build that hammer because I felt like it could be a handicap accessible hammer as well, the Hardy hammer. And it's just kind of a concept I've been toying with for a while. Because there's a lot of guys, like one guy that was commenting earlier, vets and stuff that are coming back from wars and things that would like to get into blacksmithing, but, you know, there again, it's also a very physical thing, so. Yeah, swedge blocks prices are discouraging too. Yeah, I think maybe, and this is just my opinion, I think maybe everybody's marking their prices up because they think there's a resurgence in blacksmithing because everybody's knowing about stuff like Forged in Fire and stuff like that. So I think everybody's trying to charge a premium right now. But like as with anything, with any sort of fad, it'll fad out and then there'll be a lot of equipment available. Just wait. If you're in it long enough and you don't fad out with it, there'll be a lot of opportunity here in the next few years to pick up some really great tooling. Yes, I have a basics video on forge welding, how to do those. Digger blades. Yeah, good things come to those who wait. Yeah, antiquers, they do play a big role. They like to price up, you know, junk. I mean, Graham, it is possible. I mean, there's been several times that I could have bought a $16,000 hammer, but then I was limited by my shop. And I'd rather own my own home and have a bigger shop before I have a bigger power hammer or, you know, factory made. So, I mean, you can. It takes a lot of hustle. It takes a lot of work. You may not get there on railroad spike bottle openers and things of that nature, you know, unless you are a machine and you're tearing it up. Yeah. Tried to sell you a 40-pound anvil for $400. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Screw box is missing on the big one. The mounts I can make. Yeah, the screw box, that one's difficult. That one you're going to have to kind of wait for something to come up, I would think. The other thing you can do, I've seen guys, they cut the lead screw off and they'll do they'll weld on like a big bolt. It's like a big nut with a large piece of threaded rod and use that. But they also sell lead screws, things like that you can get on eBay, and you can probably find the nut portion of it too as well, and just have to kind of cobble something together if you're doing that. Yeah, Damascus could be a great power hammer buyer. I think that's going to be one of those other things that are probably going to fad out before long. You know, there's a lot of people doing Damascus right now. Billy Strong, yeah, he's a blade guy. Forge and Fire. I've joked before that I would go on Forge and Fire and like forge a rose or something with like sharp pedals. I just want to hear the what's his name, Doug Mercado or whatever his name is. I would just love to hear him say, "It will kill." That would get ratings. I know it would. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I like Damascus as well, Shadowcaster. Once again, you know, I like the looks of Damascus and things of that nature, but you're exactly right. It's not as good as modern-made steel. People love the look of it, and as trends go, I mean, they go up and they go down and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people in the Damascus making space right now. Yeah, it's overdone. You know, pattern welded steel, things of that nature. There for a while, it was Mokame. I don't know if anybody remembers it's been about 6 years back, 7 years back, there was like a Mokame phase. And it was Mokame jewelry everywhere. I mean, you just couldn't get away from it. Everything was Mokame. Mokame Ghani, or however you want to call it. But, you know, it's not the correct pronunciation. I'm a big believer in business. If you guys are going to take and get into the blacksmithing business, you have got to either be really good at your super niche down thing that you're going to do. So say you're going to be the Damascus guy. Well, you better learn everything you can about Damascus and become the best at creating patterns in Damascus and turnaround times and customer bases that specifically solicit you for your Damascus steel and things of that nature. If you're going to take and do, you know, like one thing, just, you know, because eventually things go in trends. So I'm a big fan of diversifying what you do a little bit. You don't have to get crazy out there, but having a little something out across a larger net for a larger audience will really help during those dry times of your main money getter there. Yeah, I did do a cross out of that. Yep, Mokame there, Dan Razzo. So Still videos. Yep. Yeah, I could do a video, Brad, on that. That would be a good video. I have done a video before of a couple different finishing techniques. There is a lot of different finishing techniques that you can achieve. You know, you just have to pick what's right for the individual project. Yeah. Yeah, specializing in one area of work, yeah, that's one of those things. It is, it's a very difficult thing to do in these days and times. Once again, because the market is very volatile with people's opinion, public opinion. They go all crazy and just crazy about one thing, and then down. Just no one's interested anymore. And it's just like, you know, and just like all these phones, you know, the phones come out. Everybody's so super, like, losing their minds about a new Apple product that's been released, and then, what is it, like a week later, and no one's watching anything anymore of those. Like just on YouTube videos and stuff. A week later, it's just dead. It's dead information. Nobody cares anymore. So, yeah, so it's good not to do that in business. Diversify just a little bit is a good thing to do. Yeah. Let's see here. One would guess what will be the next craze. Forged flip-flops. Let's start the craze. Let's just make the craze. Get some bikini model to wear forged flip-flops, or some big personnel somewhere, and then boom, there you go. It's forged flip-flops. I'm glad to hear that, Dan, and I'm glad to have you part of the channel too. I'm really glad you're learning a lot from the beginner skills and everything. I knew I was getting guys to take and create that already. I already started with some designs in my head too. Oh man, wouldn't that make like an Instagram sensation? Maybe we should do that. That would be really cool, guys. If we would all get together and just do hashtag forged flip-flop. Maybe do it around the spring. Start seeing everybody's creativity. I'll tell you what, I'll make the first pair. It's coming into summer there. Well, there we go. We can make it a worldwide thing. Forged and flop. Ha! I like it, Jackson. That is what we should try to take and call it. You go put spurs on them. That'll get it done. I'm going to try to find a way of, like, inserting copper bits. That way, you know, like cogs. That'd be funny. Start the new craze. Size 14, you'll be my guinea pig. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Send you some forged flip-flops. Yeah, it's actually happening. I think I'm going to make it happen. The next craze, forged flip-flops. I'm going to use Jackson Kettler's. It's forged and flop. Hashtag forged and flop. That's what everybody needs to post it as. Everybody write that down. I'm going to write that down right now. Hold up. Can't do two things at once. Forged and flop. That's going to be awesome. Make sure to put the hashtag in it when you share it to Instagram. Yeah, no swimming and forged flops. That's funny. Somebody's walking on the bottom of the pool with like 1-inch thick soles to the flops. Jason Austin, are there any repetitive tasks you recommend for a beginner to practice? Drawing out. Practice drawing out. Get really good on the anvil surface first, on the flat, so you get your hammer control down pat and you know where you're hitting is where you want to be hitting, and then move on to other practicing the other techniques. I did a whole fundamentals of blacksmithing series video. If you just look on the channel in the playlist section, you should be able to find the fundamentals of blacksmithing series and just go through each one of those and practice those. And that's a good way of doing it there. Yeah, following my steps on practicing hammer blows, that's a good way of doing it. So send you reminders, please. Will do. I'm just going to make them. I'm going to make a YouTube video about them, and then I'm going to post them on Instagram. Everybody's got to come along, though. We got to get this thing moving when we do the forged flops. Billy Strong, how long was I where? Just question. I'm not sure. Do a hashtag Roy to get my attention when you write it, so. You just wrote it on your arm. Good. Good to know. Don't get ink poisoning there, Jackson. Yeah, great for sharp rocks. That's funny. Yeah, you're welcome there, Jason. Buy a 20-foot length 1/4-inch stock. Make ass hawks. That'd be fun. Digger Blades, good to have you here. We'll see you next week. Donald Roberts. I have seen it done before, where somebody has made a cross and they melt a marble into it. So it is possible. A lot of times they break, I guess. That's what I've heard. I've never done it myself. Yeah, leather insoles might help a little bit. I have to just glue them on. It's against the blacksmith code, but we got to do something. Hey, have a good night, Dan Rosewood. Yeah, I've got to get going here too myself here real soon. So I said an hour and we're about 8 minutes over, so. Ben Tunes, that's awesome. Yeah, my hour's up. You know me. I always like talking a lot. I really do enjoy. This is kind of almost I would say one of the best times of my week is when I get to take and talk to you guys. I really, 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 really enjoy this. There's so many questions that come in and so many people I want to comment back to and things like that. And I am just glad that everybody just says my time is up. So, yeah, yeah, I'm just glad that everybody likes to come on these live streams and chat with me for a bit. It's really nice. So, Mark Gass, good night to you, buddy. Good to have you here. Well, thank you, Billy Strong. I enjoy teaching the young guys as well. If you were talking about at the event that I taught on the thing, I was there 4 hours, I think it was, total. Oh. Good night, Jackson. God bless you. Yeah, I was there about 4 hours. So. Okay, so we are almost at 1 hour and 10 minutes. So I'm going to take and go ahead and end the live stream now. Before I go, I want to remind everybody, check out on Monday. Like I said, I should have the next installment of the Power Hammer build. Good night, everybody. God bless you all. I should have, like I said, another update video. Hopefully everybody's been finding those informative and not too a pain in the butt. You know, just I don't try to be too scammy with it. I don't know what you call it, you know, like spam type stuff. I don't like spamming people with just useless information. So, but I'm just trying to keep you all updated and kind of keep you coming along my days. So, good night, everybody. Good night, Brian Neely. Good night, Don Wallen. Good night, Shadowcaster. Great to have everyone here. Oh, and hey, thanks, X-Pool Guy. Appreciate it. You can watch the whole thing on the replay here in about an hour or so. It takes an hour to get it up online for it to process and stuff. And so, yeah, I'm going to call it an evening. Thank you all for a great live stream. Next Friday's live stream, once again, for those that are here late, next Friday's live stream, I'm going to be making a pair of tongs. And we will either do bolt jaws or wolf jaw tongs right there. Maybe both. We'll see what we have time for. So God bless everybody. Thank you for watching. And you all keep it safe out there. And we'll catch you on the next one.